the biggest heist in every decade. Throughout history, humans have pushed the limits of what's possible, sometimes for progress and other times for the perfect crime. Today, we're going decade by decade, exploring the biggest, boldest, and most unbelievable heists from the last century. Some were high-tech, some were brutally simple, and others were so perfectly executed they're still unsolved to this day. This is the biggest heist in every decade. 1930s, the Great Brinks Robbery, 1932. Our story begins in Boston during the Great Depression, a time when money was scarce, desperation was high, and criminal masterminds found opportunity in chaos. In 1932, thieves pulled off what newspapers called the crime of the century, breaking into the Brinks building and escaping with $2.7 million in cash, checks, and securities, worth over $60 million today. What made this heist legendary wasn't just the amount stolen, but the precision. The burglars studied guard patterns for months, moved silently through the structure, and escaped without firing a shot. Despite the FBI's intense pursuit, the case remained mostly unsolved for years, cementing its place as one of the slickest Depression-era robberies ever committed. 1940s, the Air France gold heist, 1948. Post-World War II Europe was unstable, rebuilding, and full of security gaps. Perfect conditions for the decade's biggest heist. In 1948, thieves targeted an Air France cargo facility, making off £1 million in cash and gold, a staggering amount at the time. Because global shipping lanes were still disorganized after the war, the robbers exploited weak inventory controls and inconsistent tracking. Authorities were baffled. No forced entry, no alarms, no witnesses. It was one of the cleanest inside job suspected heists of its era, and much of the gold was never recovered. 1950s. The Central Bank of Iraq robbery, 1952. The 1950s brought us one of the most politically charged heists of the century. In 1952, thieves infiltrated the Central Bank of Iraq and removed a large stash of cash and gold reserves. The exact total was never publicly confirmed, which only added to the mystery surrounding the operation. This wasn't just a theft, it was a statement. And because of the instability of the era, blame was thrown at political rivals, insiders, and even foreign agents. No definitive culprit was ever identified, making it one of the most shadowy heists of the mid-20th century. 1960s, the Great Train Robbery, 1963. The 1960s were marked by boldness, and no heist embodies that more than the Great Train Robbery. In 1963, a gang of thieves derailed a Royal Mail train in England and stole £2.6 million, equivalent to around $70 million today. This wasn't finesse, this wasn't subtlety, this was raw, strategic force. The gang used a fake signal light to stop the train, overpowered the crew, and unloaded bags of cash into their truck. They knew exactly which carriage held the money and exactly when it would pass their chosen spot. Though many of the robbers were caught, most of the cash was never recovered, and the robbery became one of the most famous crimes in British history. 1970s, the Lufthansa heist, 1978. If you've ever seen Goodfellas, you already know this one. In 1978, members of the Lucchese crime family orchestrated the Lufthansa heist at JFK Airport, stealing $5 million in cash and $875,000 in jewelry from a cargo vault. This robbery was so successful that the mobsters involved quickly turned on each other, paranoid, greedy, and eager to eliminate loose ends. Many who participated vanished or were found dead in the months that followed. The money never recovered, and the remaining survivors silent to this day. 1980s, the Brinks Mat gold heist, 1983. Picture this: £26 million worth of gold bars, diamonds, and cash sitting inside a vault in London. In 1983, a group of thieves broke into the Brinks Mat warehouse after being given access by an inside man. They expected cash. They found 3 tons of gold. The robbers melted the gold down, laundered it through jewelry shops, and funneled the money into real estate and offshore accounts. The aftermath was brutal. Police chased suspects for years. Several people involved were murdered, and most of the gold is still missing. This heist reshaped London's criminal underworld and changed gold security procedures worldwide. 1990s. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist, 1990. The 1990s begin with a cultural tragedy, the largest unrecovered art theft in modern history. Two men disguised as police officers were let into the Gardner Museum in Boston. Once inside, they tied up the guards and stole 13 priceless works of art, including pieces by Vermeer, Rembrandt, and Degas. Total estimated value today? Over $500 million. No ransom, no credible leads, and no artwork has ever resurfaced. The empty frames still hang in the museum, silent reminders of a heist that may never be solved. 2000s. The Antwerp Diamond Heist, 2003. Known as the heist of the century, this operation was almost surgical. In 2003, a group of professional thieves infiltrated the Antwerp Diamond Center in Belgium and stole over $100 million in diamonds. They defeated infrared sensors, multiple locks, pressure plates, heat detectors, and even magnetic security fields. The mastermind, Leonardo Notarbartolo, was eventually arrested, but he always claimed he was framed, and the diamonds? Still missing. 2010s. The Banco Rio Tunnel Heist, 2010. The 2010s gave us one of the most ingeniously executed heists of all time. A group of thieves in Buenos Aires tunneled 75 feet into the Banco Rio vault, breaking in undetected. They stole over $8 million in cash and valuables. When police arrived, the robbers were long gone, having escaped through the same tunnel, which they had carefully reinforced and ventilated like a mini subway line. No suspects, no arrests, just a perfectly clean exit. 2020s. The Loomis Armored Depot Robbery, 2020. The new decade is still young, but it's already seen major heists, like the 2020 robbery at a Loomis Armored Depot in the US, where thieves stole more than $2 million in cash. Security systems were bypassed, guards were distracted, and the attackers moved with confidence that suggested expert planning. The crime was a stark reminder that even in the era of digital tracking and AI-enhanced surveillance, old-school heists aren't going anywhere. These were the biggest heists from every decade of the last century, some bold, some brilliant, and some still unsolved. If you enjoyed this timeline of crime, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And until next time, stay curious.